Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Natalie and this is Scientology Life After a Cult. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today, including John Oliver, who is poking fun at Scientology leader David Miscavige. And let's admit it, we're all here for it. We're all here for it. Scientology's ties to the Boy Scouts of America is deeper than we first thought. It goes beyond just wrangling a float. We're going to talk about that, including Scientology's Winter Wonderland in Hollywood, which is a go. They are building it right now, and we're going to take a look at what happened with that last year. Thank you, moderators, for helping out. Thank you, members, for being here, and everybody in the live chat. I appreciate you guys and are happy to see you. Aloha. Let's throw all kinds of aloha in that chat. It is not yet Aloha Friday. That is tomorrow, but every day is an aloha day here at Scientology Life After a Cult. So hello, everybody. Jump in that chat. I want to hear from you. Let's get the party started. Let's kick it off by talking about... Oh, just a little bit, you guys. Before we get to the John Oliver thing, we just have to look at a little clip about Linkin Park's singer Emily Armstrong. I find it very interesting that many fans are still talking about this because of that huge article that came out in the Daily Mail. We talked about it a couple days ago, but I think it's very telling that other channels, and there's a new guy, or new to me, who did a video about it here on YouTube. Let's look at a clip.
The word of the day today is Scientology, because Linkin Park singer Emily Armstrong's ties to Scientology have recently been exposed. Linkin Park has had one of the most monumental returns in rock and roll this year, with the inclusion of the announcement of their new lead singer, Emily Armstrong. Shortly after that announcement was made, a whole bunch of controversy was sparked up about Danny Masterson and Scientology. Today, those Scientology ties have been exposed by the Daily Beast in excruciating detail. But before I do, hey, hi, hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Dan Frampton, and normally I wouldn't just read an article for content, but in this case, this article is the content.
It's really interesting, his take on it and his commentary after this video. You will find linked down below all of the articles and the video clips that I'm talking about, so you can check them out in their entirety. I thought he gave great commentary on it. When I share something like that, I do it from the perspective of being a former Scientologist who spent 35 years in this human trafficking cult and escaped with 3 generations of her family. I love hearing the perspective of people never in Scientology, because let's be honest, it's all you folk never in Scientology, but all in on exposing this human trafficking cult that's really going to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? You guys have the numbers, and thank you for being here. All right, now let's talk about John Oliver. John Oliver, I love it when he throws shade at Scientology or David Miscavige or anything like that. And he did. He threw the shade, you guys. He threw the shade. Let's take a look at this. So there's John Oliver. I don't know if you guys watch. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys watch John Oliver. Let me know. Let's see. So this is just other stuff that didn't interest me at all. But here's the part that did. So he was talking about, like his wishes for 2025. Because, you got to get those wishes, those New Year's resolutions. Think, what do you want to manifest in the following year? This is what John Oliver would like to manifest. To that end, he said he wanted to look forward to 2025 and shared his hopes for a better year. Better year. We need a better year than 2024. I feel that deeply, you guys. I mean, you guys, you know, I am ready to get into 2025. In 2025, this is John Oliver speaking. I'd like Elon Musk to jump so high he never comes back down, Oliver said. I'd like to go just one day without hearing about the Wicked movie. By the way, I don't even know Wicked made a movie. I found this out the other day from my daughter. I don't know how I didn't know. I think it's out tomorrow. I've never seen the show, but my daughter did. I definitely would watch the movie. And if you guys got thoughts on it, let me know. And if you're on the replay, jump into those comments. So then he goes on to say, and in 2025, I'd like the final Mission Impossible film to end with Tom Cruise taking off his face mask to reveal Shelly Miscavige, the wife of Scientology leader David Miscavige, who hasn't been seen in public since 2007. That would be an amazing twist. Wouldn't it? I mean, never going to happen in a million years, but I like where his head's at. You know what I'm saying? I like where his head's at. I do. Okay, so it looks like some of you watched John Oliver. On the replay, jump in there. I was saying drop a one if you watched John Oliver. I thought that was funny though. What a great wish that was. Okay, little bit more of some Scientologist news with John Travolta. Did you guys see Wild Hogs? You remember when Wild Hogs came out and it got all kinds of, it got some bad reviews, but in the long run, it turned out to be a hit. And now, you know, John Travolta's in it. Let's take a look at this because they're coming out with a Wild Hogs 2. 17 years later, one of Disney's worst movies is getting a sequel. So it says, according to a new report, Disney is in the process of developing a sequel to one of the studio's worst movies ever, Wild Hogs. Came out 17 years ago. The film earned a solid $253 million at the global box office, but, you know, it didn't get great reviews. So it's being said that the original cast will be participating. And I think that's interesting because it's John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, William H. Macy, and Tim Allen. And tell me, drop a 1 in the chat if you're going to see this and a 2 if you're going to stay away from it. I got to say, you guys, I kind of want to see it. I do. I want to see it. And I don't have the I don't have the disdain for John Travolta that I do for Tom Cruise on a personal level, even though I have zero personal relationship or connection to Tom Cruise, other than the fact that I was in the same cult as him. But the fact that Tom Cruise has utilized the free labor of Sea Org members who sign billionaire contracts and don't get paid, that chaps my ass. I got to be honest. I don't like it, but I would see this because one, I like John Travolta, even though he's still in Scientology. And I have high hopes that he leaves. But William H. Macy, I mean, that cast together just sounds kind of like, I'm going to watch it. I mean, I'm not going to go in a movie theater. Brian says, I'll wait until it comes out on streaming. You could be talking about Wicked or Wild Hogs 2. And yes, I will. I would wait for both on streaming. I haven't been to a movie theater since Wonder Woman came out. And yeah, not in a long time. I used to love doing that. Just a Northern Girl, isn't Wild Hogs one of Reese's guilty pleasures? Oh my gosh, you're right. I forgot about that. If you guys follow Relatable Reese here on YouTube, you're right. She did mention that it was one of her guilty pleasures. Oh, we got to make sure girl knows then that Wild Hogs 2 is coming out. Okay, so some of you going to see it. Some of you are not going to see it. Might not even be your bag. I mean, it's a certain kind of humor. You got to kind of be into that. Cami says you have to see Wild Hogs with Reese. Maybe we could do a watch party when it's on streaming. I don't know how you do that. I was watching another creator the other day talking about doing a watch party. If someone knows, can you tell me? Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com. I mean, I know I could probably Google it too, but maybe somebody knows because I think doing a watch party with y'all might be kind of fun. I've never done a watch party. I've never been to a watch party, but I like to watch and I like to party. So those two things together sound like it might work. So let me know what you guys think. Oh, okay. Mama Opal says there's an option to do a watch party on Netflix. Okay. I wonder how many people you can do that with. All right. All right. All right. So now let's talk about these Boy Scouts of America. And I have to tell you guys, I am disturbed. We knew that the Boy Scouts of America are wrangling the Scientology float in the Christmas parade coming up in Hollywood. That information just came out. We shared it the other day. So they basically hold on to the rope so the thing doesn't fly away, just like the Macy's Thanksgiving parade. You guys, it's so much deeper. It's so much worse than that. I'm going to share what we've been finding out. And you guys jump in. Tell me what you think about this. And if anybody has any real recent information like, oh, no, they cut ties. They're not doing that anymore. Based on what Scientology themselves are putting out, it seems that they are, or at least that's what Scientology wants the world to think. So let's look at a couple things. Let's start with a a little short from Growing Up in Scientology, Aaron Smith-Levin, and what he said the other day about this.
Scientology knows, gosh darn diggity darn well, pardon my French, that there's going to be protesters protesting them at the Hollywood parade. And maybe they thought, you know what the protesters will never do? Protest a bunch of little Boy Scouts. and maybe the protesters don't want to protest a bunch of little Boy Scouts. I don't know. I mean, I do know that William seemed to think that we could probably, given the right emphasis and the right messaging and contacting the right people, somehow prevent this from happening. Let Scientology go out there and wrangle their own damn float. Why are the Boy Scouts of America going to do it?
That is a big question. And that was the question. Like, why are the Boy Scouts of America going to wrangle Scientology's float? Their Galaxy Press float. And when you see Galaxy Press, you guys, that is Scientology. Those are Sea Organization members. This is a front group. Galaxy Press handles the fiction works for L. Ron Hubbard. So that is still Scientology. That is still the Sea Organization. That is still a front group and a way to get people into Scientology. Thank you for the reminder, Mama Opal. Hula on over to that like button, y'all. Show it some love. Farrell Cheryl, good to see you. Eric Rader, I thought I saw you go flying by there. Okay, so let's look at an article from Freedom Magazine. This is Scientology's cult propaganda, so everybody be prepared. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. Freedom Magazine. Scouts and drug-free world team up. So here you see a picture of Boy Scouts, and they're signing what looks like the Foundation for a Drug-Free World drug-free pledge, that you pledge to be drug-free. Which, you know, on the surface, nothing wrong with pledging you're going to be drug-free. But there is something inherently wrong with tying yourselves to a human trafficking cult, Boy Scouts of America. So, Freedom Magazine, Scientology's publication, goes on to kind of talk about the program and a groundbreaking partnership. The Boy Scouts of America, founded in 1910, is teaming up with the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. The foundation, sponsored by the Church of Scientology, run by the Church of Scientology, I mean, let's be real, has a multimedia campaign, The Truth About Drugs, which is welcomed by Boy Scouts of America and made available to its members. Talks about, you know, the Boy Scouts, why they exist, so you can make ethical choices over their lifetime, blah, blah, blah. Truth About Drugs materials have reached an estimated 127,000 Boy Scouts in 39 states. Did you get that? The Truth About Drugs materials have reached an estimated 127,000 Boy Scouts in 39 states. So Scientology propaganda ties to Scientology. Over 127,000 Boy Scouts in 39 states. So it talks a little bit about how they run the Scouts, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. So who is this person here? Here we go. With the help of Boy Scouts of America executives and foundation members, Keithley started a pilot program in 2014. So this is where we get into some of the dates. Freedom Magazine doesn't date this article, but this does sound, I've seen other articles reference that 2014, 2015 is when the infiltration of the Boy Scouts of America started with Scientology. Keithley started a pilot program in 2014 involving 50 Boy Scout leaders and 5,000 scouts. The success of this and other early incarnations of the program throughout the nation led to the May 2015 Memo of Understanding signed by the Foundation and the Boy Scout of America officials. I don't know what a letter of understanding is, but I know I don't like it. So, you know, they just go on to talk about this tie, about what the truth about drugs is, how, you know, important it is for the Boy Scouts. So there was something that happened in 2013. Since 2013, Adams and Bob Carroll, another foundation member and longtime Scientologist, were instrumental in forging the Boy Scouts partnership. So this is how I think it started back then. And they're naming the people who started it, who actually started things to infiltrate the Boy Scouts of America. Over the next 2 years, Adams Carroll, Keithley, and a sizable number of other officials from the Foundation and Boy Scouts of America conducted numerous planning sessions and roundtables throughout the country aimed at making the truth about drugs a staple element in the Boy Scouts rank advancement system. So gets more into it. I'm going to link this whole thing down below so you guys can read the whole thing. A lot of it is just a bunch of Scientology propaganda. And then they forward this narrative that L. Ron Hubbard was an avid scout, and in 1924 became, at the age of 13, the youngest ever Eagle Scout in the program. And the thing is that those records were never kept. So it cannot be denied or confirmed that that actually happened. But given the history of Scientology, right, and how much they make stuff up, especially when it comes to L. Ron Hubbard, his war records, so many other things that they lie about, I'm going to read this and take it all in with a grain of salt. And at first I'm like, okay, well, of course, Scientology always wants to make it sound like they're so involved. And are they or aren't they? I mean, when I was a Scientologist back in my day, gather around, my friends, for back in my day. Back in my day, I attended a Scientology event, and I remember listening to David Miscavige talk about how Kimora Lee Simmons supports the way to happiness. Well, a quick Google, that was a lie. That was a total lie. And that was part of my awakening of, if David Miscavige is lying to us about this, what else is he lying about? And it turned out he lied about quite a lot. So let's take a look now. Let's go over to the Foundation for a Drug-Free World and look at this. Look at this. Free for Scout leaders and executives only. A special Boy Scouts Truth About Drugs second class rank requirement training pack. So as I understand it, with the Boy Scouts of America, you get badges, and then you get ranked as a scout, and you move through. So this is specifically for Boy Scouts for Truth About Drugs second class rank requirement training. Teach scouts the basics of drug abuse prevention that will meet their minimum requirements for attaining their second class rank. So Scientology turned around and created a whole program specifically for the Boy Scouts of America when they get to the point in their rank system that qualifies for them to meet that rank. I'm like, what in the world is happening here? I don't know how I didn't know about this, but I find it very disturbing. And like I said, you can see it there. This is on the Foundation for a Drug-Free World website. Your special second class 9A rank requirement pack includes, that sounds like a lot of Boy Scout speak. I don't fully understand that, but some of you might. You get the Truth About Drugs documentary and public service announcements on DVD. On DVD. Maybe I'm out of the loop and more people have DVD players than I do. Oh my goodness. On DVD. I'm just imagining in my head a bunch of, Boy Scouts being handed a DVD and going, what the F is this? What is this round? Is it a plate? Is it a coaster? Is it a coaster from my Stanley to put my water on? Like, what is it? They're not going to know what it is. At least I don't think so. I thought that was funny. Chuck says, my DVD player broke. It could be a Frisbee. They don't know. A bunch of scouts are getting these DVDs and just like tossing them around to each other. Oh, I swear. Okay, so let's see here. What else is this telling us? You get 10 booklets. You get 10 Truth About Marijuana booklets specifically. Lesson plan and instruction sheet, keyword definitions glossary, post-lesson scout survey. The Boy Scouts of America authorized special condensed version of the Truth About Drugs prevention education curriculum is timed for roughly 1 hour of instruction and discussion. Its simple yet effective approach will enable young scouts to make their own healthy decisions based on facts concerning drug and alcohol abuse. Now, who wouldn't want scouts to learn about drug and alcohol abuse? That's a good thing, but not with a human trafficking cult. Not with Scientology, who is trying to use the Boy Scouts of America for clout to legitimize themselves like they do with other organizations that actually go out there and do some good. And now, not only do we have this interaction between the Boy Scouts of America and Scientology, but that they'll be wrangling their float at the Christmas parade. Supposedly, that's what's being said. That's what the Hollywood Christmas parade put out. My hope is that someone at the Boy Scouts of America gets this message and can get educated on the truth about Scientology, what it really is about, what they do, about the countless number of reports and firsthand accounts of abuse within Scientology and the C organization. And don't even get me started on the childhood SA. It's like, you really want to align yourself with those people? Do you not know? Because here's the thing, you guys, many organizations that partnered with the Truth About Drugs, with the Foundation for a Drug-Free World, didn't know it was Scientology. And as soon as they found out, they were like, yeah, no. They backed out so fast. So is this a situation of them not knowing? I don't know. I just think that, reach out to the Boy Scouts of America in your area. Do they know? Why are you wrangling a float for a human trafficking cult in Hollywood at Christmas? Why is Scientology using their propaganda in the Boy Scouts? I mean, it's a lot, you guys. It's a lot. There was a story that was out. There was an article that came out. And again, it was 2015. So part of me is like, Scientology is making it sound as if this relationship is still ongoing. I've not seen anything recently from the Boy Scouts. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, just means I've not seen it. And remember, y'all, if you see something, say something Scientology, culty related. You can email me, Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com. Tell me what I'm looking at. Give me a timestamp if it's a video. And you can even do a clip if it's under a minute. Just make sure you tell me what I'm looking for and a timestamp, and go ahead and send any articles too. So this article, and again, this is something that came out a while ago, but confirms this relationship, at least back then. Boy Scouts of America adopt Truth About Drugs educational tool developed by the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. Foundation Southeast Regional Director Joshua Bank leads effort for troop use. Okay, so that's someone that was leading the way here. And this was in 2015. They had an annual meeting in Atlanta. The Boy Scouts of America unveiled a new drug education tool to help 1 million volunteers and 2.5 million scouts nationwide to learn the truth about drugs. I really hope they're not still doing this. Again, Scientology's propaganda are making look like it is. The fact that the Boy Scouts of America are wrangling a float for Scientology makes it look like it is, but I am very open and willing to read or see anything that shows the Boy Scouts of America have taken a step back and are not supporting Scientology, a human trafficking cult with documentable abuses. It just seems it's a bad look. So let's see. Boy Scouts of America executives officially recognize the Foundation for a Drug-Free World's Truth About Drugs educational program for use by scout leaders and troop volunteers to help their scouts reach their next second-class rank. So it goes on to talk about more about that, how they came up with this condensed version. Talks about the documentary that gets shared with them, tells you some about the Boy Scouts. Our custom Truth About Drugs training regimen for scout leaders can be administered in a single 1-hour lesson, said Tom Paquette, Foundation spokesman and representative at the Scouts convention. Okay, Tom Paquette is a Sea Org member. Now, granted, this article came out in 2015, but let me tell you a little bit about that. When I was in Scientology, and I was doing a pageant because I got a hair up my butt one day and thought, hey, what's a great way to learn how to walk in heels and do some work in my community, do something that scares me, gets me outside my comfort zone. I was writing a column at the time where I would do things that were outside my comfort zone and write about it. And I thought, I'll go do this pageant. And it really was a good experience, but I was a Scientologist at the time. So my platform was say no to drugs, say yes to life. And I partnered with the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. Tom Paquette, who's mentioned in this article, Tom was one of the people, in fact, the main person that I had reached out to. And every time I'd reach out for help, all he wanted to do was sell me the basic books in Scientology. I got barely any help. He just wanted to sell me something. Sea Org member. So this is completely tied to Scientology and the Sea Organization. So there is that. You guys got to tell me what you think about this. Jump in the comments if you're on the replay in the live chat. This is incredibly disturbing to me. And does anyone out there know any more recent information? Did the Boy Scouts take a step back? Doesn't look like it because of what's happening with the float. But yes, something to keep an eye on, you guys. If you have kids in Scouts, maybe kind of inquire. Are you using Scientology's Truth About Drugs booklets and programs still? Are you? I'm sure it's something that we are going to keep talking about. That's right, Marcy. No, Boy Scouts, don't do it. Don't do it. Say no to Scientology. Say yes to life and freedom. That should be the motto. Joe Raz and her alien dog says, it blows my mind that Boy Scouts of America doesn't look into who they team up with, more so when there are children involved. Exactly. I just, and again, if anybody knows any information that shows they step back and they're not using this program anymore, reach out, let me know. I've not found that yet, but I'm looking. All right, let's move on from that right now on to some other things. And let's talk about something that happened in Austin. There's a story out. Oh, this is actually disturbing. Hold on here. Let's see. An Austin man is being charged with a felony after threatening Scientology building on social media. So this is in Austin. Hey, where'd it go? Oh, there we go. Well, what's happening here? A 27-year-old Austin man faces felony charges after allegedly threatening to blow up a Church of Scientology building in a series of social media posts, according to an arrest affidavit. This is not good. This is like, how many times do we say, hey, don't do stuff like that. Don't give Scientology a reason. I've never heard of this guy before. Brandon James Mason was charged with making, oh wait, hold on a sec here. Brandon James Mason was charged with making a terroristic threat a third-degree felony following an investigation that began when the FBI received emergency disclosure information from Meta about threats posted on Instagram between September 20th and September 21st. First, can I just say that I'm irritated? I don't want anything to happen physically to Scientologists or even their buildings. That's wrong. That is not okay. That is not how to combat Scientology, not by those means. But it irritates me that the FBI just jumps to because Meta, Facebook, Instagram was like, oh, hey, look at this. I mean, I'm glad they found it and they're investigating it, because even though it's Scientology, that's wrong. That should not be done. And I don't condone or support that in any way. I'm just a little okay, maybe more than a little bit. It does chat my ass. I'm bothered by this, that the FBI is just right there. Like, oh, I mean, while you're there, FBI, maybe you could look into a couple more things about Scientology. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? While you're there, while you're already at it, looking into this, that will be a wonderful opportunity to learn more about Scientology, a human trafficking cult. So, according to the affidavit, Mason posted multiple threatening messages, including, I'm going to go blow the Scientology building up, and threats to blow up Austin. This is a man who is not well, because who does that, and who does that so publicly? I hope he gets, some help. This is a crime. You cannot be doing this. The investigation traced the threats to Mason through IP addresses, phone records, and social media accounts. Investigators say Mason continued posting similar content on new social media accounts after his original Instagram was banned. So they tried to shut it down, but dude kept going. And it's wrong. It's wrong. But again, why can't the FBI do something about Scientology while you're there? Marcy says, yes, FBI, check Cult of Scientology out. Can't understand why they aren't doing that anyways. Yes. Eric Rader, And we're all wearing dozens of badges and belts awards we never earned. Stuff happens. Oh, you talking about the Boy Scouts there? I think there was an earlier comment from you too. Eric Rader says, I was a Boy Scout in 1977, Panther Troop. We got kicked out of the Scouts because our troop leader was always drunk and all us kids got poison oak. Oh, well. That sounds like the 70s or 80s. Wow. That's interesting. Crafting Emily says, my mom works for a Girl Scout council and knows that a couple years ago that the Boy Scouts were in deep, deep bankruptcy. I wonder if Scientology helped with them getting out. Yeah, I don't know. But always makes you wonder. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Joe Buchanan, it's frustrating that we put loads of abusive behavior on the internet and they don't investigate. Although, because you said this guy was going to blow the building up, you get the FBI checking this. Yes. Yeah. Marcy, no, there was nothing in the article that said he was a Scientologist or indicated that he was. He could just be some guy. Let's see. Okay, now let's move on. We're going to get into, God, we had so much stuff still that we're going to get into, including we're going to take a look at a clip from Kelli Copter, some stuff that PTS for Life that he did, talking about the Office of Special Affairs files. But before we get to that, I just wanted to bring to your attention, in case you are interested, Rebecca Minkoff, Scientologist, Real Housewives of New York cast member, was on a podcast, The Skinny Confidential. Let's just look at a clip.
I like to take risks. I like to do scary things. He's like, you're crazy, but here we go.
Are you glad with that decision looking back?
Hell yeah. They're not looking at building a long-term successful business that takes 10, 15, 20 years to build.
There's a delusion happening.
Like, come the on. You think in a year you're going to be a millionaire?
There's just a lack of.
So basically, she doesn't really even talk about Scientology. But if you watch it, you can catch some of the Scientology attitude in there and thought process that's very much a part of who she is. So that was interesting. Link down below if you want to see the whole thing. I will say this, though. You know, you got to give Rebecca Minkoff props for building up for her business, for doing what she did and is doing. It's just, can you not give so much money to Scientology? You know, how do you... And I'm glad she's still in the media, because you know what follows her? The story about her dad, Dr. David Minkoff, and his role in the death of 2 Scientologists. That's what follows. That and so much more. BJ Critter says, if the FBI got Diddy, why aren't they getting the cult of Scientology? That is a very good question. And yeah, something we're going to continue to talk about. I've got some videos coming up about this where we're going to discuss. Hey, Dusty, welcome. Desert Dog, you got kicked out of Girl Scouts. Wow. That's right. Stop giving the money to Scientology. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's take a look at Oh Hell No. I don't know if you follow Oh Hell No here on YouTube, but Oh Hell No is doing some fun content like an SPTV Inquirer. Check it out. We're going to take a look at a little clip of this. I'm going to put a link down below so you can check out the whole video.
The SPTV Inquirer. What inquiring minds need to know. With Oh Hell No.
The Journey 2020 has been working on a massive project. Journey has been using Google Maps to produce an interactive of all the Scientology buildings, organizations, and front groups worldwide. Check out her great work and make sure that you subscribe to keep up to date on new developments. Mandy McGee gave a tease about their upcoming video on the case of Lizzie Borden. They, along with Mama from Mama's Life, will be doing an expose on the true crime story of Lizzie Borden, a famous alleged axe murderess. Find out more on Mandy's channel and make sure to subscribe. Jeff from the channel PTS for Life has announced that he will be concentrating on other things than Scientology. He says that Scientology has stolen 30 years of his life and he is moving on.
Jeff is still doing content though on Scientology. In fact, I got a clip that we're going to share. But how fun is that? And I love that she's highlighting too many of the smaller channels, because there's so many people on YouTube that are doing great content exposing Scientology. And because there is so much, and there's so much national news as well, it is impossible for me to cover everything. So I think this is great to be able to share more, especially with some of the other channels, and maybe give them a boost. So check it out, because you might find other people that you enjoy following here on YouTube. Becky says, oh, hell no, I love sin. Yep. I thought it was great. Amber, is it snowing there? Yeah, girl. Speaking of, I got up this morning. I mean, I knew it snowed a little bit yesterday and I wasn't really paying attention. And I forgot to get salt that you have to put on the ground. So my walkway is hopefully just slushy. So I need to figure that out today and find the shovels. I think it's mostly going to melt so far, but we had accumulating snow. But yeah, I wasn't thrilled to death about that today. I hope it's just going to melt, but I got to go out and get some salt so I'm not slipping and sliding all over my walkway. All right, let's now go over to PTS for Life with Jeff, who is talking about why it's important to talk about the OSA files. Now, the OSA files, what are the OSA files? Office of Special Affairs, who we should wake up, by the way, because we talking about you all. We talking about you all. David Miscavige, wake up your people. It is Thursday, you guys. This is the day that Scientology's week ends. Thursday, 2 o'clock to Thursday, 2 o'clock. So the Office of Special Affairs, you guys are probably already awake anyways, because you got to track all this negative news and press about Scientology so that you can share it with your dear leader, but nobody wants to share it with him because you're afraid that he's going to punch you in the face like he did so many of his senior staff. Okay, Office of Special Affairs is the intelligence branch, the dirty tricks branch. It's been called many things of Scientology. Handles the public relations, but also investigations, private eyes, attorneys, harassing critics, people who expose Scientology. That is what they do. The Office of Special Affairs files are files that were on a thumb drive that belonged to Mike Rinder when he fled and escaped from Scientology. So there's a lot of information on there. I've covered a couple things in there, but Jeff is, Kelli Copter is talking about it as well. Many people have covered it, but just so you know, when we say the OSA files, that's what it is. That's where it came from. There's many, 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 many files in there. I haven't even been through. I have barely scratched the surface. There is so much in there. So Jeff at PTS for Life did a video talking about why it's important that we talk about it. Let's take a look at a clip from Jeff at PTS for Life.
You're wrong on this, but most of the people who are in OSA or in what's called international management were born second generation or third generation Scientologists. The reason for this is because there are so many qualifications to get into international management, which is basically meaning you have to have a certain level of security or
now let's try not to pause him on such a weird looking. Well, now he's got his eyes closed.
Trustworthy.
There we go. I hate I love when people share my videos, but when you can pause it and you're like, can we pause where it doesn't look that crazy? Anyways, Jeff, what he's talking about is so many second generation, third generation Scientologists in multi-generational Scientology families are groomed for the Sea organization from the beginning. That is like the ultimate of going to serve Scientology. And the Office of Special Affairs, the higher you go up in international management, the qualifications become even more strict. There's certain things you could not have done. To be in the Sea organization, you could have never done LSD. But the higher you go up, there are like ethics levels, they call it. Like you can't have been super promiscuous. You couldn't have tried to unalive yourself or even threatened it. Different things that, the average person out there, most people I would say would be disqualified to work in the Sea organization at the Office of Special Affairs or higher up in Scientology management that way. This is why they groom the kids of Scientologists, because you're already in the mindset that Scientology is the way. And as you continue your indoctrination in Scientology. And remember, I say this as a child of Scientology. My mom got into Scientology when I was 5. I was raised in it. I escaped when I was 40 with 3 generations of my family. It is all part of that indoctrination. I went to Los Angeles to the Blue Buildings when I was 15 years old to train as a Scientology staff member. And then I ended up joining the Sea organization. So he is right. These in the Sea organization, they will look for you if you come from a multi-generation Scientology family, because it's easier to indoctrinate you into the ways, the abusive ways of the Sea organization and the Office of Special Affairs, because you're already halfway there. Whereas if you take somebody who just got into Scientology 2 years ago, they might sit down and say, hey, we want you to hire this private investigator, hire this lawyer who's going to hire this private investigator and have these people followed and make sure that you got cash on hand to pay the garbage man to get the trash to go through it, or whatever it might be. They're going to be a little bit more like, no, I don't think I am down with that. And they could have a history or things in their past that would not qualify them for that position. So that's kind of what Jeff is getting into here.
Worthiness, aka dedication to Scientology. And one of the only ways that you can really achieve that as a human being is to be indoctrinated from the beginning of your life or very early on in life. Your human development has to be stunted to the point where your critical thinking skills aren't developed. You aren't allowed to look outside and look at different options. And in fact, it's not given to you as an option to see anything other than Scientology. It could be wrong.
That is so true. The solution is always Scientology when we're growing up, and indoctrinating at such a young age, doing training routines like I did with my sister when we were kids. That's the start of it. So you initially start being there comfortably and confronting somebody. Right off the bat, it's you got to learn the Xenu eyes. I feel like my Xenu eyes are a little out of practice. And if you're not watching and listening, I was just making Xenu eyes. I was trying to bring the Xenu eyes. All right, so check that out. That's a video from Jeff over at PTS for Life. And then Kelli Copter. Kelli Copter did a video called OSA Files Leaked Scientology Fair Game in Real Time. And she had a lot to say, a lot of great commentary about this. Amber Vanessa says, I don't think grooming of the Sea organization worked on me very well. I was always in trouble. Yeah, so true. Many of us got into a lot of trouble. Julie Markham says, Jeff is really good at explaining things. He is. So I'm glad that he is still doing Scientology content in addition to other content that he's going to do. If you got, side note, I'm getting a little off track here, but Jeff has got a short or a video on his page. He goes like, I think it's called mountain biking, when you're like on the trails and all that. I watched this video. It gave me mass amounts of anxiety. Thanks for that, Jeff. Because it seems so dangerous, but I get why he likes it. And it also shows you a whole new side of Jeff over at PTS for Life. So check out his other content too. Don't just like stop at the Scientology stuff. Check out the other stuff too. Okay, what the heck was I talking about? Oh yeah, Kelli Copter. We were talking about Kelli Copter. Oh, you guys got such great comments there though. Justine, so if you're a staff member, are you treated better? And is that more of a job 9 to 5? Okay, so a Scientology staff member signs a 2.5 or a 5-year contract. And in a Scientology organization, like the Los Angeles organization that's over on Sunset, that is what's called a Class 5 organization. They can deliver up to Class 5 on Scientology's Bridge to Total Freedom. They cannot deliver the operating Thetan levels or anything like that. And a Sea organization member signs a billion-year contract, lives in a dorm with bunk beds 3 high, or if you're married, you get your own room. And if you're lucky, you only have to share a bathroom with one other couple. That was the case when I was in the Sea organization. If you're a staff member, are you treated better? No. I mean, by Scientology? No, not necessarily. The higher up you go in Scientology, there's parishioner, right? That's what they call them, your everyday public. They call them parishioners when they're speaking to the outside world. Nobody in Scientology calls themselves a parishioner unless they're talking to people outside of Scientology because they want to relate. They call each other public. If you're not a staff member in Scientology, you're a public. So you're not a staff member, you're not a Sea Org member. As a public person, you can come and go, you can have premarital sex. You still will have huge amounts of pressure put on you financially and to recruit you for staff or into the Sea organization. Those are the two big bummers for Scientology public. And many abuses occur within that, from recruiting people's kids into the Sea organization to financial irregularities, taking their credit cards, jacking them up, going and looking at their limits, calling and pretending to be people and increasing the limits and leaving that Scientology public in a lot of debt. Scientology staff members sign 2.5 or 5 year contracts. You are working pretty much like 8 to 6, 9 to 6 if you're in the day organization, evenings and weekends if you're in the foundation organization. So a Scientology organization is open from like 9 in the morning until like 10 o'clock at night, but it's split into 2 shifts, both of which are full time. So you are still controlled more than a Scientology public, way less than a Scientology Sea organization member. Sea organization members are at the top. Sea organization members sign billion-year contracts to come back lifetime after lifetime. And the rules are different. You cannot have premarital sex. You cannot just leave, walk off, and go to a movie. You don't have that freedom. You're not in charge of yourself and your body. You have to do what they tell you when. You do 3 to 4 roll calls every day to make sure you're still there and nobody has blown. So the control as you move up from Scientology public to Sea Org member gets stronger and stronger and worse and worse. So hopefully that answered that question there. But that's pretty much how it works there. Okay, so Kelli Copter, let's go look at a clip from Kelli Copter, who was talking about the Office of Special Affairs files and a bunch of stuff in relating to Scientology fair game.
And what a legend Rosemary is for being like, yeah, we'll fight him, because that.
And she's talking about Rosemary, Mike Brown's mother, who has been a whistleblower on elderly abuse in Scientology. And I agree, Rosemary is a legend.
There are other people, other elderly people in Scientology that are being defrauded and being abused. They want to make that stop. And that is making a real change. And I just love it. And I thought it was a brilliant response. And there was a lot of actually kind of trying to build the bridge and stuff in that video too. I'll make sure I link it so you can go and watch it if you haven't seen it yet. But it was a fantastic response to this whole situation, in my humble opinion.
Check out Kelli's whole video. She covered a whole bunch of stuff, and she is doing, what did she call it? She called it, let me see, did I clip it? I think I did clip it. We'll look at it like a creator highlight. I can't remember if Kelli is here or not right now. And I was so excited because I made the creator highlight. I was so like, I am such a dork. I loved it. This was a great live by Kelli Copter. Yeah, Joe, it really was. Marcy says, love Kelli Copter. And yes, great video. I caught it on replay. Okay, let's look at the fun part for me. I love this so much. I'm so glad Kelli loved my video. She's been helping me too behind the scenes understand how to use some technology to create these pre-recorded videos like the cookie video I did.
For the creator spotlight. Here we go. This is a
creator spotlight. That's what it's called.
Segment on this show. I want to make it a regular segment where I share video with you guys of something that I just loved to see that week. Now, this one is from one of my internet besties. Absolutely love her so much. Watching this video made me like my face hurt from smiling because she is just so freaking funny. I cannot even deal with that. And she's like that in real life. And I just felt like this is so authentic to who she is and her like personality and her like banter and everything. So let me share a little clip. Hold on.
And she shares a clip from my Cookies to Cults Life After a Cult.
So she has called this Cults to Cookies, Life After.
Yeah, Cults to Cookies. I don't even know the title of my own video.
Cult, and one of my internet besties. Check it out.
Ingredients in it, and the cookies were amazing. I mean, I ate them. They were amazing. But that seems too hard. I'm going to go with this box of cookie, which is also low sugar, which is something I try to do. It's something I try to do, but I royally fail at. I don't know why I keep trying, but I don't know. I guess try again. But I do try to watch sugar. So I'm going to try making this Swerve keto-friendly chocolate chip cookie mix. It's, it's in a box, so it's supposed to be easier. You still need ingredients though. Oh, it's gluten-free too, gluten and grain-free. So I need a box of the chocolate chip mix.
She's just going for it. I love it. She is like grabbing it. She hasn't even got all of her ingredients out. She's doing it on the fly. It's just so funny, and I absolutely adore her. And yeah, I think.
And I adore you too, Kelly. And you guys, today is Kelli Copter's birthday. This is what a little birdie told me. Has anybody else heard that? It is today, right? Kelli Copter's birthday. So happy birthday, Kelli Copter. We love you. I'm going to have to call you today, get on a video, like with the time difference. When I think about calling Kelli, it's like the middle of the night, her time, because she's in the UK and I'm in the Midwest. So, oh, there you are. Hey, bestie. Loved your videos so much. Happy birthday, Kelli. We all love you. Everybody, she's here. Let's drop in some happy birthday, Kelli, some hearts, some love, some aloha, all of the things. Drop it into the chat. If you're on the replay, do so as well. Let's show her as much love as we possibly can on her birthday. And Kelli, is it true? Did you turn 30? I swear you do not look a day over 25. There's no way you can be 30. I thought you were younger than that. Maybe you are though now. Maybe it was 29 that I was thinking. Yes, thank you everybody. Moose on the Loose is even here with a happy birthday, Kelli. Christina, same thing. Oh, Farrell Cheryl is in the house, sending those birthday wishes. Oh, Cece as well. I love it, you guys. Keep them coming for Kelli. She's absolutely fabulous. She does great content, and she is an amazing human. I was so glad to be able to meet her and spend time with her in Clearwater, and she's just been an amazing friend and has encouraged me so much to keep going. Even when times when I just don't want to. And not because I don't love what I do. Most of you who follow my channel know I lost my partner 5 months ago, and it's just been really hard. But showing up here and being with you guys and exposing Scientology are things that make me happy and bring me joy. And I'm honestly, like, I feel like I'm starting to get back more to myself and my humor. And yeah, oh my gosh, I'm loving all the happy birthdays for Kelli Copter. I love it so much. Ah. So Kelli says, I'm 30. Okay, you are 30, so old. Girl, that's not old. You're still younger than 2 of my kids. So no, you are not. Oh, we even got Dusty chiming in. I love it. Church of Scientology. I love it. It's great. We got some wise words. What did I see from Joe? Enjoy being 30. 50 comes fast. It does. Enjoy all of it. I'm telling you, like, live it up. I look back on my 30-year-old self, and there are so many things I wish I would have done. It's interesting to me that as we age, we get wiser. At least that's the idea. I feel like I've become more comfortable with myself. A lot of it had to do with leaving a cult. Let's be real. But I wish I had the knowledge and the perspective that I do today at 54 when I was 30. Wouldn't have happened because I was still in a cult. I was in a cult. You're still in a cult, Tammy. I was completely still in a cult. So, oh, that's right. It's the dirty 30. Happy dirty 30, Kelli. I learned about that when my kid first turned 30. I don't remember a dirty 30 in my day. Oh, I love it. You guys got to give her all your wise words and advice too. Okay. Keep saying happy birthday to Kelli. I love celebrating her. We're going to take a quick look at something we're also going to look at Winter Wonderland, but Power Lies to Paralyze continues to blow my mind with this insightful way of breaking down how Scientology messes us up. And what I'm hearing from Power Lies to Paralyze in this video that we're going to look at, I have heard from multiple neurologists who have helped me over the years with some neurological issues that has affected my mobility at times, that they have said to me that had everything to do with the rewiring of my brain, which they also told me they mostly see it in people who have served multiple tours of duty in the military, which I did not do. but my trauma and rewiring of my brain came from being raised in Scientology and being in the Sea organization. So interesting stuff, but take a look at this from power lies to paralyze.
Neuroplasticity hijacking. The brain adapts and rewires itself in response to prolonged exposure to certain patterns, potentially causing long-term behavioral or emotional changes.
Hello, Scientology, training routines, Chinese school drills, so many of those things. Snitching on your friends.
Induced dependency. If entrainment devices or techniques are used excessively, the brain may become reliant on external input to achieve desired states, e.g., relaxation, focus, etc. Emotional destabilization. Overexposure to low-frequency rhythms, like theta waves, can induce depressive symptoms or dissociative states.
Now, listen to this next part. So he's talking about, right, overexposure to low-frequency rhythms like theta waves. Can you guys guess what creates those low-frequency rhythms in Scientology? That Scientologists are exposed to this on the daily, some hours and hours and hours a day. This little tidbit here blew my mind. You guys know what it is. It's the e-meter. It's the e-meter, Scientology's e-meter, where you have the cans and you, Cubana Chica, you know. You hold the cans, an electrical current runs through, and then the e-meter, Scientology says, measures resistance. So the needle makes different movements on the dial, and Scientologists are trained to interpret what those movements mean. If it does this, it means you happy. If it does this, that means you have overts and withholds, you have crimes. They need to interrogate you. So take a look at the rest of this.
Scientology's e-meter operates in the frequency range of 0.071 to 7.1 hertz, which falls within the delta and theta brainwave ranges. This is significant because these frequencies are associated with deep relaxation, subconscious activity, and high suggestibility.
So what I'm hearing here, if I am tracking correctly, is that prolonged exposure to an e-meter on the e-meter with that level of frequency running through your body can create dissociative types of behavior. Depression. I'm just like, I did not know this. Did you guys know this? My former Scientology friends, I know y'all are here. Did you know this? I didn't know this. This is science. It just blew my mind. And Gerald, exactly. And Ella Rach was into hypnosis. Very much so. Very much so. Yeah, main house. I had no idea about it. Paralyzed to paralyze. You got it, Natalie. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm understanding. And please keep making these, because Paralyzed to Paralyze, which you can find here on YouTube, creates these little videos and shorts, which really explains, here's what happened to you in Scientology. Here is the science that shows what happened and how you can actually undo it. It is fascinating, and it explains so much. And I got to tell you, I cannot recall a conversation with a Scientologist over the years, former Scientologist, where this has ever come up. That being exposed to the e-meter frequency over and over and over again, I'm talking hours. When you audit or you're doing auditing, especially on like the operating thetan levels, you're on that e-meter for hours and hours and hours a day. When you're training in Scientology, hours and hours and hours a day. Children, hours and hours and hours a day. Adults, hours and hours and hours a day. Being exposed to this, and this is being done to us in our brains. So I feel like that message needs to get out further, and especially in the former Scientology community, because many might be able to relate to that and go, oh, yeah, I felt that. No wonder. It's so insidious. It's just like, just when you think Scientology cannot get any worse, it does. But the good news is, the more we can understand the mechanics of the trap that is Scientology, a human trafficking cult, the better we can recover, and the more we can help other people through it as well, have some more understanding for what they're going through. And maybe even in the field of therapy, if therapists who treat people, leaving Scientology understood this mechanic too, there might be a way to even help people more. It just blew my mind. So thank you, Paralyzed to Paralyze. I love your stuff there. I'm telling you. Okay, let's go over. This is just blowing my mind so much still. Too much, just like cannot. That's right. She blinded me with science. I'm really digging on science. I've been learning more about it, especially since I saw some specialists in neurology and dealing with exactly kind of that and the rewiring of my brain over the years and how that contributed to my mobility issues that I had still struggle with to a degree, but it's so much better. It's so much better than it was. Oh, just blows my mind. My pleasure. F Sciento. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Anna, it's Power Lies to Paralyze. I don't know if that was the person reading it, but that's the channel where the information is. And I'm going to link everything down below. Okay, let's talk about Winter Wonderland, you guys. Winter Wonderland in Hollywood, Scientology's event. This thing has been going on for decades, just like the Hollywood Christmas Parade that Scientology is deeply entrenched in, and getting the Boy Scouts to do their bidding, because I think, a few of us think, many of us think that Scientology thinks that if they put Boy Scouts out there holding the float, that protesters are not going to protest them. And I think they're going to be in for a rude awakening on that. My hope is that Boy Scouts of America wakes up to the fact that Scientology is a human trafficking cult and you might not want to be associated with them, especially considering your own history with abuse and moving away from that and getting the focus back on the good works that the Scouts does do. Many people have had good experiences in the Scouts and become Eagle Scouts and things like that. They've had their share of dealing with SA. So I don't know, maybe don't partner with an organization that does that hides perpetrators and victims from law enforcement. Just saying. Okay, let's look at this. We're going to look at a clip from Confident Chris from last year to just kind of reorient here what happened at Winter Wonderland in Hollywood last year, because this might be what we're in for this year. Let's take a look.
Bro, they turned up the music. We're about to get a little loud on the ass. We're about to get a little loud on the ass.
There's Scientology Audit Streets LA out there.
They thought I was a Scientologist because I'm nicely.
You can see Jessica Palmadessa in the background. Jessica Palmadessa, Scientology Audit Streets LA, Confident Chris were many of the people who early came on the scene to protest and live stream in front of Scientology.
Dress, hell no. We're just doing it a little better than them, that's all.
There, of course, is the LAPD.
A little better.
This is muted because I think there were a lot of spicy words in there. It's muted on Chris's end here. There was something going on. I don't remember exactly what happened here last year, but at some point you see Scientology Audit Streets LA comes up and seems he's right there. Scientologists don't care if it's her birthday. So I don't know what happened, but it was one of many shenanigans that were going on last year. And the biggest thing of all this is it is an opportunity to expose Scientology as a human trafficking cult. And there's William Good right there. Yep, he looks mad. A lot of people recognize as well. This is going to be a huge attraction. I mean, they bring in snow, you guys. I mean, they create a whole thing with Santa. They hand out Scientology propaganda. It is directly next door to the Hollywood Testing Center. So Scientology recruiters will be there trying to get the public and the people to go into the building, to do personality tests, to sell them books, courses, to get them involved in Scientology. This is a huge recruitment event for Scientology. It is also a huge event that Scientology uses for their public relations. This is where the Office of Special Affairs comes in. It's a public relations activity. It creates goodwill in the community. That is why they do it. And like I said, if they do it again this year in bringing in snow, I think they bring in actual real snow. So, and you see how many people are there, and the vast majority of them don't know that this is Scientology. Some of them have been attending this for years. Some know. Many do not know. And that's the beauty of having people out there who are educating the public on, hey, this is Scientology. This is a human trafficking cult. You don't want to go into the building. You don't want to do a personality test. So I think we're going to hear a lot more about that because they are building it right now. And on L. Ron Hubbard Way. So keep in mind what we're going to have going on in Hollywood. Winter Wonderland is going to kick off. That's going to be going, I believe, up until Christmas. Now, Winter Wonderland on their Facebook page has not updated their hours for this year of how they're going to do it. Last year, there was a note on there that they were doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know what they're going to be doing this year about it. I don't know at all what they're going to be doing. Liz Gale says the Boy Scouts thing is a shocker. Definitely going to shout that from the rooftops. Yeah, Liz, right? You know what, Liz Gale, I would also like your thoughts on what that Powerlized to Paralyzed video said about the e-meter and all that. I mean, that's just blowing my mind. But looking forward to what you say and stuff about the Boy Scouts. And if you guys don't know, Liz Gale is a former Scientologist from a multi-generational. She was a third-generation Scientologist. You can find her here on YouTube. And she wrote a book, Confessions of a Scientology Pothead. And you can find that on Amazon, right, Liz? Yes, I know you can. I know you can. You can find it on Amazon. Nisa says Scientology is afraid of William Good. Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a fact for sure. Amber Vanessa says, I found out that too much niacin causes heart problems and I have a heart problem. Now, my mom always made me take niacin, so it doesn't surprise me that the e-meter does something funky. And for those that might not know, in Scientology, Scientologists do something called the purification rundown, where you take dangerous levels of niacin. This is a fact. It's a fact that it's dangerous levels of niacin. And you sit in a sauna 5 hours a day, 7 days a week, sweating out the toxins and the drugs that you took. And they have children do this, 7, 9 years old. What 7 or 9-year-old has done a bunch of drugs? But they say, oh, it's the toxins. I don't know. Maybe you want to wait till you're an adult to do this. One, because children cannot consent. But secondly, you're just going to have to do it again, because then they try to claim, well, it's the toxins in the environment. There are toxins in our environment, but science is not picking up what you are putting down, Scientology. Science is not saying, hey, go sit in a sauna and get all those toxins out, and that's going to do it. No, nobody else is saying that. In fact, they're saying the opposite. Many Scientologists end up doing this purification rundown over and over again, and they're exposed to dangerous levels of niacin. It's also not good on the kidneys. And Amber, I am so sorry that for you have a heart condition now. And yeah, I think those ties to niacin. And if your mom was giving you lots of niacin, yeah, outside of the purification rundown is what you're saying. Oh, I'm telling you, it's just nasty. It is just nasty. But keep talking about it. Keep bringing it up. Hey, Auditing Scientology KC. Today is Thursday. Are you out there? Are you and Z News out there? Let's take a little look. They're usually out in front of Scientology in Kansas City on Thursdays and sometimes on the first Friday. I don't know if Mike's out there today. I don't know that Z News is, but go check out Auditing Scientology Kansas City and you can see if they're there. And yeah, thank you for the reminder, Mama Opal. If you see something, say something. Email me, Natalie@lifeafteroccult.com. Scientology, culty stuff. Just make sure you give me a timestamp if it is a video. Thank you, Gaslit, for bringing the helicopter. Oh, that reminds me. Well, I don't know. I probably shouldn't get up and go grab that and show you guys this now. But you know what? I'm just going to do it. Hold on. I got to show you guys something that somebody, a subscriber and viewer, sent to me, and I love it so much. And I think technically I was supposed to give it to Kelli Copter, but I kept it. So Kelli, I don't know if I showed you this. I'm going to go grab it. Hold on, everybody. Let me unhook myself. Hang tight. I'll be right back. I'm so glad that I put on real pants today because you would have seen my pajama bottoms. Not that I care. And just so you guys know, half the time I'm sitting here dressed from the waist up and I'm still in my pajama bottoms. Unless I have to leave for a meeting, then I got to get dressed. So check this out. Look at this. Somebody made this and sent it to me. That's Kelli Copter. Kelli Copter. Helicopter. How cute is that? I love it so much that I kept it. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to give it to Kelli. You guys, I got to admit something right here and now. This is confession time. Gather close. And if you want to judge me, go ahead and judge me. I have a habit of not giving people things that were given to me that I'm supposed to give to them because I like it. I did it with the body things from Feral Cheryl. I was supposed to give them to my own grandkids. And I was like, oh, hell no. These are staying with grandma at her desk. So when they come over, they grab them and they play with them. But then now I did give one to my granddaughter, Mina, who's 3. She more took it than I gave it to her, but that's okay. It was hers anyways. And then Oliver keeps his back here with mine. So I'm down to 2 body things. And then again, this amazing person. And if you're watching and you were the artist who did that, can you email me, Natalie@lifeafteraCult.com? She made a few other ones, which I'll share with you guys another time. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I was supposed to give it to Kelli and I kept it. But because I like it. So if you want to give something to another creator, don't give it to me because I will keep it. Look how cute. I want to get it framed. I want it because I love Kelli and it reminds me of her. Maybe I'll give it to her one day. You know what I'll do? I'll make a copy. I'll frame that. And Kelli, I will send you the original. Yeah, share. Natalie, that's alien appropriation. It is. I know. It's so like horrible. I'm glad you like it. It is so amazing. I'd have to go back in my emails and there's so many. And I apologize to anybody who's ever sent me anything. I am the worst with names and keeping that together. I appreciate it so much. I have a bin with every card you guys have ever sent me and Tony. And sometimes I go through and I read them because it just, it's sometimes it makes me sad and sometimes it makes me happy. And I cherish it so much. And art, I mean, this here, that was done by somebody who watches my channel. You guys are amazing and I appreciate it so much. Even if I'm not shouting each person out like that, because I'm the worst with the names. And what happens is like, there'll be a name on the Amazon thing and then a different name on the email. And then it's a different screen name on here. But I want you guys to know how much I love and appreciate you and all of your gifts, your kind thoughts, your words, all of that. And big thank you to Nancy, my mod. She was behind doing the whole card campaign and I'm still reading them and going through them. Lady Victoria, thank you for being a member for 8 months. That's why we love you. Yeah, because I have sticky fingers. Thank you. There's a couple other ones too. I'm going to show you guys later. She made a couple other ones. And now I want to reconnect with the woman who did it. So hopefully she will reach out. Anna says, tell me, Nat, is this telling on yourself part of Scientology? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, my upbringing, I'm very used to and comfortable with just kind of admitting to things. But for me personally, I feel like, I don't know, there's something not just healing about the truth, but it's just the truth. It's something I do. I keep things meant for other people. So don't send it to me if you want it passed on. Oh, Kelly says so much beautiful art. Your subscribers are so talented. They are. They absolutely are. You guys are amazing. Thank you, Bob. I judge you and I love you. Oh, I love it. And that's my love language. Judge me, but still love me. All right, you guys, hit like, hit subscribe, set the notification bell to all because I've got some videos coming up. I think you guys are going to want to see. Oh, Angie says Clearwater is setting up for Winter Wonderland too. Okay, we need to get into that. All right. I'll see what I can dig up about that and we can talk about it tomorrow. You guys have an amazing, absolutely amazing, cult-free